CEO's paralyzed daughter sat alone at her birthday cake, until a single dad said, "Can we join you?" The private event room in the city's most expensive restaurant was decorated with pastel balloons and a three-tier cake covered in roses. Yet at the head of the long, empty table sat a little girl in a wheelchair, her party dress slightly wrinkled, her hair pinned back with trembling hands. 8 candles flickered in front of her. Nobody sang dot. Emma Carter, daughter of Victoria Carter, the youngest tech CEO in the Fortune 500, was turning 8 that day. Her mother had booked the entire venue, invited her daughter's classmates, and hired entertainers. But when the other kids saw Emma in her wheelchair, some whispered, some parents made excuses, and one by one, the RSVPs turned into no-shows. By the time the party started, only the staff remained. From the corner booth, a single dad named Ryan watched with his own little boy, Jack, as Emma's eyes darted to the door every time it opened, only to find no one there. Jack tugged on his dad's sleeve. "Dad, why's she alone?" Ryan looked around. His son was dressed in hand-me-down jeans, his own shirt slightly worn from years of construction work. They didn't belong in this high-end restaurant. But something about that lonely birthday girl made him stand. He walked over, Jack in tow. "Hey," he said softly, kneeling to Emma's level. "Would you mind if we joined you? I hear birthday cake tastes better when shared." Emma's face lit up, shy but hopeful. She glanced at her mother, who had been frozen in polite corporate composure all evening, and Victoria's eyes softened for the first time that day. She nodded. Ryan and Jack sat down, and soon Jack was laughing with Emma over silly riddles. Ryan cut slices of cake, deliberately making the icing pile high on Emma's plate. The entertainers who had been awkwardly waiting finally came over. Joining in by the end of the evening, the one silent room was filled with laughter. Emma had frosting on her nose. Jack had balloon animals. And Victoria Carter, a woman known for building empires, realized that the man who had saved her daughter's birthday wasn't wearing a suit, didn't have a billion-dollar company, he just had kindness. When the night ended, Victoria stopped Ryan at the door. "You don't know what today means to her, or to me," she said. "I'd like to return the favor. Ever thought about working somewhere bigger?" Ryan smiled. "I've got my hands full, being a dad." But as he left, Victoria had already decided this wasn't the last time she'd see them. The room looked like something out of a magazine. Crystal chandeliers reflected in the polished marble floors, and an enormous table stretched across the center, covered in pastel pink tablecloths, little party favors, and a 3-tier cake with hand-piped roses. It was perfect. Except for one thing. The birthday girl was alone. Emma Carter sat in her wheelchair at the head of the table, her small hands folded in her lap. Her dress was the soft blush color her mother had picked out, her hair carefully pinned back by a stylist who had come earlier that morning. She stared at the cake, 8 candles flickering, their wax beginning to run. She was waiting. Her mother, Victoria Carter, stood near the wall with her phone in her hand. She wasn't scrolling, though she was watching the door, watching for the people who were supposed to fill this room 1 week ago. Victoria had sent invitations to Emma's entire class, booked the most expensive venue in the city, and hired magicians, face painters, and even a miniature petting zoo for the rooftop. She thought she had covered everything, but what she couldn't cover was the way other parents whispered behind her back, "She's the CEO's kid. She's in a wheelchair now, isn't she? It's going to be awkward for the kids." At first, the RSVPs came in. Then the polite text messages started trickling through. "Sorry, we can't make it after all. Our daughters got ballet. Our son's sick." By party time, not one classmate had shown up. Victoria kept her face businesslike, as she did in board meetings, but inside, she was breaking. Emma hadn't smiled once, at a booth in the far corner of the restaurant. Ryan Mills sat with his 7-year-old son. Jack. They weren't there for the party, they were there because Ryan had promised Jack a treat after his first week at a new school. Ryan wasn't the kind of man you'd expect in a place like this. His calloused hands, worn boots, and flannel shirt spoke more of long construction shifts than business meetings. But when he noticed the girl sitting alone with her unlit cake, he felt something twist in his chest. Jack tugged his sleeve. Dad, why's she all by herself? Isn't it her birthday? Ryan followed his son's gaze, then looked at the towering cake, the empty chairs, and the way the girl's mother kept glancing toward the door with hope that kept dying. Yeah, buddy, he said quietly. Looks like it is. Jack thought for a moment, then looked up with a stubborn little frown. That's not fair. Ryan smiled faintly. Jack had inherited that streak of stubborn kindness from his late mother. Without thinking too much, he stood, taking Jack's hand, and walked across the room. Emma's eyes widened as they approached. Ryan knelt so he was eye level with her. Hey there. I couldn't help noticing this looks like one amazing birthday cake. Any chance a couple of strangers could help you eat it? Emma blinked, then gave the smallest smile. I guess so. Jack pulled out the chair next to her and plopped down, introducing himself immediately. Within minutes, he was telling her a ridiculous story about how his dad once burned pancakes so badly the smoke alarm called the fire department. Emma giggled, and Ryan saw Victoria watching them, her mask slipping just a little. He sliced the cake into generous pieces, deliberately giving Emma the corner with the most frosting. The entertainers, who had been lingering awkwardly, finally came over when they saw someone engaging with her. Soon, the magician was pulling coins from Jack's ear. Emma had a balloon animal in her lap, and the room didn't feel so empty anymore. By the time the candles were lit, Jack was singing louder than anyone else. Emma's voice joined his halfway through, and Victoria, blinking quickly, joined in too. When Emma made her wish, she looked happier than she had all year. Later, as Ryan and Jack were leaving, Victoria caught up to them. Wait, she said. Her voice wasn't the crisp, commanding tone that had made her feared in boardrooms. It was softer, almost uncertain. I don't know how to thank you. You didn't have to do that. Ryan shrugged. No kid should spend their birthday alone, that's all. Victoria hesitated. You don't know what today meant to her, or to me. If there's ever anything I can do for you. Ryan shook his head with a half smile. I've got my hands full being a dad. That's all I need. They left without fanfare. But as Victoria stood there, watching them disappear into the night, she realized something. She'd spent years building an empire, but it had taken a stranger with work-worn hands to show her what really mattered, and she already knew this wouldn't be the last time she saw them.